Amarillo is the Spanish word for yellow, and the name of the 14th most populous city in the state of Texas. Settled in 1887, the name probably sprang from the color of Amarillo's subsoil. Houses were once painted yellow to honor the name. Today, Amarillo is the home of the only nuclear weapons assembly and disassembly facility in the country, which gave rise to its nickname, Bomb City. The state of Texas is considered to have some of the most relaxed gun laws in the United States.
3 WT students were sharing a house out in rural Randall County, west of Amarillo. They were on their way to their house when they drove down Helium Road and saw this vehicle on the side of the road and what looked like maybe a body, and they were afraid to approach the vehicle, but they called 911 and the sheriff's department was dispatched. Fairly quickly, they had identified the victim as Robin Spielbauer.
Robin is a young woman with a domestic bent. Inspired by her parents' happy marriage and thriving careers in the United States military, she wants the same kind of life and to be a mother. But Robin is conflicted. While she aspires to a clean-cut, nice man like her dad, she is also attracted to bad boys.
Robin was a military brat who moved with her family from North Dakota to Amarillo, Texas in 1995. Robin began working at a local cafe in Amarillo, and she soon met Jeremy David Spielbauer in 2003.
Known as JD, he tells her about his service in the Marine Corps, with combat time in Iraq and Afghanistan. The pair becomes inseparable.
Robin and JD's relationship progressed very quickly. Robin's parents, the Bledsoes, were surprised at how quickly the relationship progressed. However, they trusted that their daughter was making good decisions, and ultimately they just wanted Robin to be happy, and it seemed as if she was happy with JD.
They met in 2003 and married in 2005. After she and JD married, they had 2 children.
But parenting comes with new stresses, and cracks begin to show in their relationship. The couple decides to attend church, hoping it will strengthen the foundation of their marriage. It's at the church that the Spielbauers meet a young criminal justice student.
JD and Robin, from time to time, attended church at a place called Cowboy Church. It's up south of Amarillo, and Katie Phipps was also attending church there. And for a while, Katie and Robin actually struck up a friendship.
Robin was friends with Katie and trusted Katie in her relationship with JD. However, JD was telling Katie that his relationship or marriage with Robin was on the rocks and that they were headed for divorce. Robin and JD started going multiple times a week. Some of their friends questioned what their newfound interest in the church was, and some of them believed that it wasn't the religion that was drawing them to the church.
Katie babysits for them occasionally, and sometimes Katie's daughter sleeps over at their place.
Katie became very close with Robin and JD, and they welcomed her into the family. Robin didn't notice that the relationship between JD and Katie was growing until it was too late.
The 2 lovers proclaim their feelings. Robin files for divorce, and once it's finalized in 2013, JD marries Katie.
JD and Katie had a lot of things in common, including their love of firearms. Between them, they had quite a collection of guns. There was stress in their marriage because Robin was still involved in their relationship due to the fact that JD and Robin had children together. Katie didn't like that and was jealous of the fact that Robin was still involved in their lives.
Robin moves back into her parents' home with their children in 2013, and she struggles to make ends meet. JD and Robin fight incessantly over visitation rights and child support. There's an incident where JD needs to borrow part of a $400 a month child support payment to Robin to pay for his household with Katie.
Robin is mad and depressed about JD and Katie's new marriage. To make matters worse, the newlyweds moved in down the street from Robin's parents, so she frequently had to see them while she was at her parents' house.
There was a lot of animosity between Katie and Robin, and everyone knew it. It was no secret. Everyone knew it.
With tensions high between Robin, Katie, and JD, it seems like just a matter of time before they boil over. After a series of texts, Robin tucks her 2 children into bed and tells her mother she'll be back later. Katie picks up her son Diego and takes him to spend the evening with her best friend. JD is in the company of someone as well.
He calls his Uncle Ty, and Ty comes over to the house, and they drink a couple of beers and talk.
Robin leaves her family and goes out into the night to an undisclosed location. Little does she know, this will be the last drive she ever takes.
Dental insurance. Many employers don't offer it. Medicare doesn't include it. And people who work for themselves often don't consider it. But with Humana, you can still have it, starting at just $18 a month. That's about 60 cents a day. With a Humana dental plan, you'll get 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, such as oral exams, cleanings, and x-rays. Plus, you could save on fillings, crowns, and other dental procedures. How much could you save? There's a quick, easy way to find out. Call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed Humana agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. You can choose from a large network with over 100,000 dentists and specialists nationwide. And you can have coverage in as little as 5 days. There are no age requirements, and you can't be turned down. There are a variety of plans to fit the whole family's needs and budget, plus plans designed exclusively for veterans and their families. Humana even has vision plans, too, with coverage for exams, eyeglasses, and more. So whether you're looking for a dental plan, a vision plan, or both, call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Call now and discover the coverage you need at a price that'll make you smile. From Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I have PCOS. It can cause unexplainable weight gain. Having to go through Weight Watchers Clinic and now taking a GLP-1, you just feel that extra level of support. And I'm like 2 pounds away from my goal weight, which is like...
Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on giving you fast, reliable, nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have a flip phone, like the Iris Flip. We even have watches. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 800-918-5494. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Why has America accepted the wait for payday? When life doesn't wait for you to get paid. Introducing MyPay from Chime, a revolutionary new way of getting your pay when you want. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. When any day is payday, it's a good day. Get paid with you say with MyPay. Get started at Chime.com.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base.
That's what Grandpa used to play. When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Captions service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you. Call 1-800-921-4979. That's 1-800-921-4979.
You should never be using traditional laundry detergent. Chances are you're buying a lot of water. And don't even get me started on the plastic. Instead, join the many other people who have already switched to EarthBreeze Eco Sheets. These are dissolvable detergent sheets that go in your machine's tub or drawer, and they dissolve in the cycle to clean your clothes. Plus, EarthBreeze's packaging is sleek, so it fits anywhere. And there's no plastic jugs. So it's time to make the switch at earthbreeze.com.
Amarillo is the 14th most populous city in the state of Texas. It is in Amarillo that J.D. and Robin Spielbauer marry and have children. But J.D.'s affair with a mutual friend turns into a messy divorce and remarriage. The three former friends struggle to be civil. On Helium Road, April 8th, 2014, a driver notices something bizarre. What appears to be a bloody body is spotted beside an SUV. Emergency vehicles are summoned to the scene. The morning after Robin goes out, Robin's mother wakes up to see Robin never returned home to sleep. Initially, she isn't concerned, as Robin occasionally spends the night with friends. But by later in the morning, Robin's parents call and text some of Robin's friends and hunt for her presence on social media. Robin's dad calls police and hospitals in the area. The Amarillo Police Department shows up to the house around 11 a.m. to file a missing persons report.
Under Texas law, there's no waiting period to report a missing person if the reporting person thinks that the missing person's life may be in danger.
Later that afternoon, a friend of Robin's alerts the family of a news article that shows a black SUV surrounded by first responder vehicles. It looks just like Robin's vehicle, and a parent's worst nightmare is about to be confirmed. A female victim is found beside the vehicle west of Amarillo, near the intersection of Helium Road and West County Road 34. She's been the victim of foul play. District Attorney James Barron is contacted.
It was standard practice for the Sheriff's Department to contact me if a homicide had occurred, and once Robin's body was discovered at 34th and Helium, they contacted me, and I was present and offering advice and suggestions throughout their investigation.
Authorities note strange pink color smears on Robin's car window.
They saw damage to the vehicle, contact marks. They saw scratches, they saw paint, transfer of paint.
Something hard, probably metallic, had been used to strike that window several times and cause chip marks, and there was a pink smear on the window.
Hard objects come in contact, especially in a scraping motion or hitting motion, you're going to have a transfer of paint if there's paint on that particular object.
No wallet or phone is found on the victim, who shows the signs of having engaged in a struggle.
It was obvious that she had suffered several serious blows to her head and neck and face area.
When you see that, you look, well, this person looked like they were beat up. She looks like she was beat up.
She had injuries that were consistent with several blows to her head and face. They believe she had died as a result of blunt force trauma.
This appears to be a clear-cut case of a robbery gone wrong.
Robin's wallet was missing and her cell phone was missing when the investigation began. Whoever killed Robin took her wallet and her phone. We didn't know whether was this a robbery, was this just a random event out on Helium Road. By mid-afternoon, the sheriff's department had contacted her parents, and her parents had confirmed that they believed that was Robin.
Police gather information from people who know Robin.
When a spouse or ex-spouse dies, one of the first people investigators look at is the spouse or ex-spouse. But other than just a general rule, they didn't have anything at that point to point to JD or Katie or anybody else. Katie indicated she didn't know anything other than what she'd heard from other people who'd called her. And JD told the same story, that he just didn't have any information that could be of help to them. He really didn't know anything about it.
In the days to follow, the Spielbauers make formal statements. JD tells investigators that after visiting with his uncle, he falls asleep on the couch.
Maybe now in 40-ish, 9:50 at bedtime. Because I started sending text messages and calling. I sent one to my wife. She said, we're good. Everything's okay. I was like, okay.
About 10:15, he calls Uncle Ty and wants him to come back over to the house. JD tells Uncle Ty in the garage that night, you know, I've got a bad feeling about Robin.
I just have an uneasy feeling this seemed to be about school.
JD then proceeds to send Robin a text at 10:18, asking if everyone is okay.
I didn't get a text or anything from her. I was like, okay, try calling her. Got her voicemail. All right. Maybe she's busy sleeping. I don't know.
Police are satisfied at first.
Robin's cell phone was missing from the scene. However, the detectives were able to recover information from her service provider.
And in those text messages, it was obvious there was communication between JD and Robin, and that Robin believed they were going to meet that evening of the 7th. And so, for obvious reasons, they bring JD back into the sheriff's office and interview him and confront him with this text message information.
Police confront JD with the text messages from the missing cell phone that no one ever expected to see.
Whether you're a professional driver or just a fan, vehicle breakdowns are costly.
It started tugging.
It started making some really weird noises.
I kept hearing ding, ding, ding.
The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Is that transmission?
It's an exhaust leak.
Broken axle. Catastrophic failure.
But with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
I had a seat sensor that went out, $1,400. Endurance paid it.
You got a brand new transmission, and we never seen the repair bill.
Use any certified mechanic you want. Just bring your car in, and Endurance will pay them direct. All major parts are covered. And if you need a rental car, that's covered too.
When that warranty ends, that's when Endurance should begin.
Endurance knows what drivers want, and that starts with the freedom to pick the mechanic you trust.
Choosing my own mechanic for the repairs of my car is a big thing.
Mechanics and repair shops love working with Endurance because they know we'll pay them to do the job that needs to be done.
Because there's no middleman. We just call Endurance direct.
Engine, timing belt, water pump, fuel pump, alternator, drive axle, transmission, anti-lock brakes, AC compressor, backup camera, safety sensors, control arms, ball joints, and much, much more. If it can break, with Endurance, you're covered. Call right now to get $300 off any plan. That's right. If you call right now, you can get $300 off any plan. This is a limited time offer, so call now. 1-833-496-5441 for a free quote. That's 1-833-496-5441.
For Sean and Latress, choosing an auto protection plan wasn't an easy decision.
He researches everything. He Googles the company, he looks to see how long they've been in business. He definitely reads the reviews.
From the first call he made to Endurance, Sean felt something different.
They were polite, direct, they answered all my questions. I decided to go with it.
Soon after the switch, Sean put Endurance to the test.
When we took the car to the dealership to have our brakes looked at, we just thought just replace the pads or the rotors. But once they actually pulled everything out, they noticed that it was something more extensive than just the brakes. Roughly $1,200. Endurance came right back. No problem. Don't worry about it. We'll work it out with the dealership. We'll get you covered. Endurance did what they said they were going to do.
You don't want to have to be concerned about a car repair. You want to be able to take your car in and get the work done that needs to be done without having to think about how you're going to cover it. It's a great value to us.
Here's why not having Endurance could be a financial burden on your life. We all know a car's value decreases the second it gets driven off the lot. But with Endurance, you can keep your car in tip-top shape, helping maintain an overall higher value for your vehicle. With Endurance, your car repair costs go way down, while your car's life expectancy goes way up, allowing you to drive more and pay less. How much longer would you drive your car if you knew you'd never see a bill for covered repairs again? With Endurance, you get the feeling of new car confidence without the new car payment.
You just take it in and get it fixed and it's covered. Cha-ching.
And unlike other companies, you can't outdrive Endurance. Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's less than 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. And that's not the only difference. When you buy Endurance, you get Endurance, not some third-party administrator.
Endurance is the direct administrator of their plans. That means no middleman and no runaround. They're with you from quote to claim with VIP customer service that gets you back on the road fast.
Your plan covers 24/7 roadside assistance. If you break down, Endurance has your back anywhere in the country. Just look at what thousands of real drivers are saying about Endurance on Google, Trustpilot, and other top review sites.
With Endurance, you've got coverage that can keep thousands in your pocket.
One claim alone saved me more than $4,000. I've had 5 claims, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
We've saved over $2,000, and that's just so far.
Endurance saved me more than $7,000.
So, who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Call right now to get $300 off any plan, plus a full year of our top-tier elite benefits, a $2,000 value free. And all Endurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. But you have to act now. Call 1-833-496-5441 for a free quote. That's 1-833-496-5441.
It's time to make your car an Endurance car.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
Newlyweds Katie and JD have ever-escalating tension with JD's ex-wife. Robin is found murdered in an apparent robbery gone wrong. Data recovered from Robin's cell service provider shows that she had a meeting planned with JD the night of her murder, contrary to what he tells police.
Do you have any plans to meet Robin Money?
No plans.
How do you explain these text messages? I'm going to read these to you in case your memory's failing you.
Police asked JD to explain the recovered text messages.
He concedes that he wasn't completely honest with them during the first conversation. That it's true, he was supposed to meet Robin that night, but the meeting was supposed to take place at his house, which is just 2 houses down from where Robin was living with her parents. He said that they were going to meet and talk about the upcoming school year and the children and visitation and the general agenda for the children, and that she stood him up. She never showed up.
You're the last person who deserves to have contact with her, and that contact was arranging a meeting that she made.
Yes, sir. And that makes me number one suspect no matter what. Leaves me wondering wanted to, sir.
JD claims he has good reason to keep meetings with his ex-wife secret. Robin and his wife, Katie, notoriously hate each other since the divorce and marriage.
His further explanation was that bad blood had developed between Katie and Robin for obvious reasons. And so this meeting, according to JD, was going to be at his house because Katie was going to be gone for the evening visiting a friend, and so it would be okay for Robin to come over. There wouldn't be a confrontation between Katie and Robin because Katie wasn't going to be home that evening.
The reason for the animosity is interesting to police.
It's understandable that Robin would feel hostility toward Katie. Katie's hostility toward Robin was actually caused by the same suspicion that Robin had. Katie had concluded that JD was now having an affair with Robin. He was married to Robin, had an affair with Katie. Now he's married to Katie, and Katie believes he's having an affair with Robin. And she is just hammering JD every day, not only in person, but later when we acquired her phone records, her text messages for 2 or 3 weeks prior to the murder were just endless attacks, diatribes against JD. I know you're having an affair with Robin. I know you're cheating.
In fact, in the 4 days leading up to the murder, Katie sends JD no less than 336 angry text messages. Katie sends an ominous message. I'll take care of this myself. And JD appears to hint that he knows something about the murder.
Scenario line. Katie loves him. She's pretty sharp. She finds out Carter had a meeting that night. That's why she's pissed. That's why she's not at the house. You set the meeting up. Something really bad happened.
So you're basically are they saying I did something personally or physically to my wife, or I know of something.
Know something. My very soul, I believe you know what's going on here. The best I can do, giving you the benefit of every doubt I can possibly give you, is you have some really freaking suspicions that you don't want to discuss with me.
Sir, I do have a lot of suspicions.
He did know something about the night of the 7th and something about Robin and that they were supposed to meet. But his position was, whether he lied or whether he forgot, that the meeting never occurred, that she didn't show up.
But she did show up dead on Helium Road. Investigators believe that Robin dies as a result of blunt force trauma.
During the autopsy, they find a projectile inside her skull. They x-ray the body, of course. Ballistics comes up beautiful on an x-ray. And they see a projectile. They open the skull up, they retrieve the projectile. It's a small caliber at the time.
The bullet removed from Robin's skull is examined.
If we get the projectile, we would weigh it. I could hold it in my hand and tell you that it's a 22 caliber. I would then reaffirm what from experience, I would throw it on the scale, check the weight. It could be a 22 caliber pistol, or it could be a 22 caliber rifle. You know, there's 2 types of firearms, several types of firearms that fire that particular caliber.
The slug recovered from Robin's brain is too deformed to perform thorough ballistic testing upon it.
Detectives went back to the scene where the body and vehicle were located and searched for a casing.
Took a large area around where the vehicle and body were, and they marked it off in grids with strings and stakes. They sifted through every square inch of that soil, and they recovered 2 broken pieces off of what looked like off of a firearm. And they also recovered a 22 caliber shell casing.
Authorities now hunt for the murder weapon.
They start looking on social media, they start looking, conducting search warrants, they start confiscating different firearms or people involved, and they seem to see this one particular gun that grabs their eye.
They find photos on social media of Katie shooting a pink gun, but then Katie removes them.
Now the sheriff's department and I realize that it is likely that if we get a search warrant of JD and Katie's house, the gun that killed Robin might be there.
When they went to the house, they were armed with information. They knew what they were looking for.
Authorities entered the Spielbauer house.
The sheriff's department during the search recovered probably 15 or 20 guns, several rifles, shotguns, but several pistols. Next to Katie's side of the bed in a nightstand, they recovered a 9mm, as I recall.
And they find a 22 caliber. At the time, it's a 22 caliber. We're looking for a 22 caliber. When they recovered it, they says, wait a minute. There's pink on that gun, and we have pink on the vehicle.
From the officer.
It's a pump gun. The top of it's aluminum alloy. There was pieces chipped off of it.
The pink paint samples from the crime scene match Katie's pink gun.
Eventually, the investigation determined that they were likely caused by that gun striking against the window while the window was rolled up. Obviously, this is intriguing, and obviously to the investigators and to me, this seemed like it would be important. If Robin were cowering inside the vehicle with the window up, and her assailant is beating on the window with that gun, trying to get her to open the window, and left that pink polymer smear on the window, now we know a lot more about what was happening out at Helium Road than we did before.
Suspect weapons will be test fired to get reference casings and projectiles to compare to the evidence from the scene. We do these comparisons using a comparison microscope, which is basically two microscopes joined by an optical bridge. So we can look at the test fires and compare them to the evidence from the scene.
In a semi-automatic, the casing can be just as important in identifying the firearm. When that casing is extracted from the semi-automatic, it leaves extraction marks on the casing that are unique to that gun. Fairly quickly, ballistics was able to match the shell casing recovered out at the scene to that 22. And the gun belonged to Katie. And nobody else ever used this gun, only Katie. There were pictures of her all over Facebook firing the gun. There were pictures of her teaching her children how to target practice using that gun. Everybody knew that was her gun.
With a clear match to her gun, Katie is brought in for questioning.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I like it, because I didn't. My father died when I was 2. I buried my mother when I was 18 years old. I know what it feels like to grow up without a parent. I would never do that to anybody. I'm not a murderer. I may be a lot of things, and I'm not a murderer.
Her text messages, however, seem to tell another story.
On the 7th, the last communication she had with JD was a text message in which, again, about 3 o'clock, she accuses JD again of having an affair with Robin. He denies it again, and she says, I'll take care of this myself. I'll put an end to it. 7, 8 hours later, Robin's dead with a bullet in her brain. And so it was easy to think, well, I guess she took care of it.
JD tells investigators his version of events.
Got in the backseat with her and we was talking about girls. The STARS test coming up.
JD puts Katie at the scene of the murder. Eventually, he admits he went out to Helium Road and 34th to meet Robin. He claims that Katie then showed up and caught them there together.
A few moments later, you're tapping on the glass, end up opening the door, and I see Katie there, which took me by surprise.
And that's the last time JD says he sees Robin alive.
You may be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan if you are turning 65, have limited income, or you are moving. See how a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan could get you some big benefits, including this all-in-one WellCare Spendables debit card to use for over-the-counter health items. Find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage plus extra benefits. You could have medical coverage, coverage for prescription drugs, dental, vision, and hearing, and the WellCare Spendables debit card to make getting the coverage you need more convenient. The WellCare Spendables debit card can be used for over-the-counter health items. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with a $0 or low monthly plan premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 or low monthly plan premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 844-975-0005 now. There is absolutely no obligation for requesting this free information. WellCare offers benefits that go beyond the basics, and we make them easy to use so you can support your best health. Call a licensed sales agent to see if you are eligible to enroll today and get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Your free guide will provide information to make a smart choice for your healthcare coverage. Just call 844-975-0005. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting this free information, so call 844-975-0005. Call today.
When you get approved with Drive Time, you get the real deal.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker. Lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment of the car you want to buy.
That's super smart. And the deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay. You make the deal yourself.
Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
You just got text now. Phone service with talk, text, and data for essential apps, all for free. It's magic. It's not magic. Text Now saves you money. Download now.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
Meet Earth Breeze, a revolutionary laundry detergent that magically dissolves in any wash. There's no wasteful plastic jug, and it's water-free because you already have water. The future of laundry detergent has arrived. Learn more at earthbreeze.com.
Real cases, that murder, chilling details.
The whole world started to glow.
And the science that cracks them wide open.
Let's cement our case.
Uncover the truth with Forensic Files. Weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. and Sundays at 1. Only on True Crime Network.
Robin Spielbauer is murdered, and her ex-husband, J.D., lies to police about their meeting on the night of her murder.
So J.D. changes his story again and tells police that he did go to Helium Road on the night of Robin's murder. However, he was just talking to Robin about the kids. He states that Robin was still alive when he left the scene.
But Katie's furious texts seem to tell a tale of murder. In J.D.'s telling of events, he leaves his uncle and goes to Helium Road to speak with Robin. But there's more. J.D. says Katie shows up unexpectedly.
They're bickering back at each other. I'm trying to stop the bickering. I was putting my foot down and say, this isn't what it looks like. We're talking about the girls. That's it. She says something along the lines of, I'll turn to Katie. I'll tell her, excuse me, Carter, just go on. Put my foot down. This is done. I'll shut her door. And I'll go walking back to my truck.
He says, well, by the way, those chip marks on the window, that didn't happen while I was there. That had to have happened after I left because there weren't any chip marks on the window when I left.
Katie attests she and her son Diego spend the evening with friends and leave about 10:13. However, Katie's best friend can't confirm that. She believes Katie left at 9:50, which would give Katie time to kill Robin.
JD tells the police that he originally lied because he thinks that Katie may have killed Robin and he wanted to protect her.
Forgive me for ended up misleading anybody. I was hoping that this wasn't true. Seriously. I still love Katie with everything I got.
Katie, however, is starting to have suspicions of her own.
I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe JD did it.
Katie demands a polygraph test to prove her innocence. With her pink gun established as the murder weapon, and her husband's eyewitness testimony against her. This is a last-ditch attempt by Katie.
Polygraphs are not admissible in most criminal courts. However, police often use them as investigative aids to help include or exclude suspects.
Katie fails not one, but two polygraph tests. The case against her stacks higher and higher. Authorities trace Katie's cell phone and discover the night of the murder, it registers a ping off a cell phone tower.
The digital information we get from a ping tells us whether you're checking your voicemail or whether you're having a conversation or what it is you're doing on the phone. It tells us what time it took place. And it tells us you're within the range of the cell tower.
The information places Katie in a location and timeline that indicates she could have been leaving the scene of the murder.
And so when we added all that up, the sheriff's department brought me all of that information. I filed a murder charge against Katie Spielbauer.
Katie steadfastly maintains her innocence.
I did not do this. That's not true. I don't know.
She was arrested and charged with the murder of Robin Spielbauer. After Katie had been sitting in jail for about a year, waiting trial, charged with the murder of Robin, one of the secretaries in my office mentioned that she had seen a fascinating show on television the night before, and it had to do with Wi-Fi tracking of cell phones. And we asked her, said, "Now you mean cell towers?" And she said, "No, this is different. This Wi-Fi tracking can give you the location of a cell phone down to about 30 meters. Well, this was total news to me.
Authorities reinterpret the Wi-Fi data from the night of the murder and come to a shocking conclusion.
When I got all of this information and I talked to a dozen different experts, I realized I'd locked up the wrong person. Sorry.
July 20th, 2015, I got a call from my attorney, and he said, "Katie, Mr. Farron wants to speak with you tomorrow, and when he gets there, I need you to just sit down and be quiet." So then Mr. Farron came down to the jail, and then he turned to me and he said, "I got the phone records back." I said, "It's about time." He said, "You were never on Helium Road." I said, "I've been telling you that for 15 and a half months. He said, "Today I'm going to dismiss your case." And I fell out of the chair and I hit my knees and I started thanking God and praying and crying.
It was gut-wrenching. I wanted to personally apologize to her and tell her we were going to do everything we could to make it right.
With Katie innocent, suspicion immediately falls upon JD.
I was so angry, but at some point I had to make the decision. If he was able to kill Miss Spielbauer #1, and he was able to frame Miss Spielbauer #2, what's he going to do to Miss Spielbauer #3? It took some time to heal and get over the anger, but eventually I told Farron, "Whatever you need, I will help you."
Authorities now listen to what Katie has to say about JD. The day after Robin's murder, Katie confronts JD.
And I said, "What did you do? What did you do?" And he looked at me and he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Yes, you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What did you do?" And it went from JD to somebody I've never seen before. And he grabbed me by the throat and he pushed me up against the wall and he got right in my face and he said, "I handled the problem." And I just turned ice cold. And his eyes went from this demonic darkness back to JD, and you could see it in his eyes. He thought, "Oh my gosh, why did I say that? Now she knows. Now she knows." And I just looked at him What do you mean you handle the problem?
JD's a clever man. He's a very clever individual. I've tried 6 capital murder trials, but this is the most amazing case of my career.
Dental insurance. Many employers don't offer it. Medicare doesn't include it. And people who work for themselves often don't consider it. But with Humana, you can still have it, starting at just $18 a month. That's about 60 cents a day. With a Humana dental plan, you'll get 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, such as oral exams, cleanings, and x-rays. Plus, you could save on fillings, crowns, and other dental procedures. How much could you save? There's a quick, easy way to find out. Call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed Humana agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. You can choose from a large network with over 100,000 dentists and specialists nationwide. And you can have coverage in as little as 5 days. There are no age requirements, and you can't be turned down. There are a variety of plans to fit the whole family's needs and budget, plus plans designed exclusively for veterans and their families. Humana even has vision plans, too, with coverage for exams, eyeglasses, and more. So whether you're looking for a dental plan, a vision plan, or both, call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Call now and discover the coverage you need at a price that'll make you smile. From Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I had lost about 50 pounds and kind of stalled. And then a friend had said, you ought to look at Weight Watchers Clinic. The combination of Weight Watchers and weight loss medication has changed my life. It's a different body, a different world. At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on giving you fast, reliable, nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have a flip phone, like the Iris Flip. We even have watches. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 800-918-5494. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
I'd like to say this is the first time, but there have been others.
How many?
Who can keep track?
You think this is a joke?
Darling, we need answers, and you're going to give them to us.
Tell us again.
My car broke down. I brought it here.
I got stuck paying an expensive repair bill.
So it's true.
How much, darling?
$2,300.
$2,300.
What was I supposed to do? My transmission was shot.
You pick up your phone and you call CarShield before the car breaks down.
Plans through CarShield cover up to 5,000 parts and systems in your car.
That's right. A plan through CarShield could save you on some criminally high auto repairs, especially if your car is out of warranty. So, call CarShield, America's #1 auto protection company, before a breakdown and save yourself from getting stuck in car repair jail.
Let me guess. You hate saving money.
Who hates saving money?
Apparently you do.
All you had to do was call CarShield. And you could have protected yourself against expensive repairs.
Yeah, and then my price will go up the minute I file a claim.
Shut up! CarShield has the price locked in.
For as long as you cover your car.
I guess I should have called CarShield?
It's about time you said something that made sense.
Now you know what you need to do next time.
Bet he'll call CarShield now.
So can I go? Or
CarShield has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and was voted America's most trusted auto protection company. Don't get handcuffed paying expensive auto repairs. Call now and get the CarShield guarantee. Your price will never go up and your coverage will never go down as long as you cover your car. In just minutes, you could have a plan that covers up to 5,000 parts and systems in your car. Don't wait until it's too late. Get CarShield's best coverage yet. Call 800-259-5348.
The only thing I don't like about payday is waiting for it. Chime lets you get up to $500 of your pay whenever you need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. I'm not waiting for payday anymore, and you shouldn't either. Join me at chime.com and get paid when you say.
J.D. Spielbauer implicates his wife, Katie Spielbauer, as the killer of his ex-wife, Robin. Katie sits in jail awaiting trial for 467 days. But when the DA's secretary learns about new technology for tracing cell phone signals, Katie is cleared of suspicion and set free. Authorities look for clues with fresh eyes and a new suspect.
As Sherlock Holmes says, when you've eliminated every other possibility, whatever's left has to be the truth.
And finally, I said to them, you're telling me that not one single business in that area has cameras? And that's when they went and found the video footage from the ATM where they saw Robin's car, and then they saw JD's truck, and then they saw JD's truck come back.
Surveillance video from a bank shows Robin Spielbauer driving past an Amarillo National Bank branch at 9:21 p.m. en route to the scene of the murder. It also shows J.D. Spielbauer driving past at 9:27 p.m. and driving back the other way at 9:50 p.m. As investigators search for more evidence against J.D., one of J.D.'s ex-girlfriends has more to say than she initially let on.
We actually interviewed her 3 times because our original source kept saying, she's not telling you everything she knows, she's just afraid of J.D. We finally brought her back the 3rd time and under threat of a grand jury subpoena, and she said, all right, I'll tell you, but you've got to protect me from J.D.
To the astonishment of authorities, the woman speaks with J.D. just days before Robin's murder.
They sit out on the front porch of her grandmother's house where she lived, and J.D. tells her about his problems with Robin and Katie, and how Robin is just driving him nuts about child support and visitation, and they're having all kinds of problems, and he would just be better off if she were out of their lives. In fact, the best thing that could happen would be for her to have a bullet in her brain. And 5 days later, she had a bullet in her brain.
Not only is the testimony incriminating, it also points to a pattern of behavior in J.D.'s relationships.
I was his property. He told me where I could go, what I could wear. If he didn't want me to leave the house, he would take fuses out of my car.
Eventually, in the course of the investigation of the murder of Robin Spielbauer, J.D. Spielbauer gave 4 different versions of what happened that night.
J.D. has left a trail of clues that let investigators know he's anything but innocent. Finally, authorities are able to put the pieces together.
In his 4th version, his lie, he says, well, by the way, those chip marks on the window, that didn't happen while I was there. That had to have happened after I left, because there weren't any chip marks on the window when I left.
He claimed that he saw the marks while the vehicle was parked at the sheriff's office for processing.
So I contacted the sheriff's department, and they started laughing. And I said, what is so funny? And they said, we took that window out of the vehicle and sent it to the lab in Lubbock. It's been in the lab in Lubbock 120 miles away since the day after the investigation started. So unless he can see from here to Lubbock, he didn't see any chip marks on the window at the sheriff's department.
As police revisit the evidence they had collected from the initial investigation, more and more clues fall into place.
When they executed the search warrant on the house, JD's standing there next to me and he says, you know they're going to take all of our guns, right? He was so nervous about that
Now, at the time, nobody thought that was important. But looking back later, how did JD know they were going to look for guns? Everybody thought Robin died from blunt force trauma. Why would they be looking for guns? The only person who knew a gun would be important was the person that killed her.
We had approximately 8 firearms in the house. The only gun that was registered to me, the only one that I ever actually purchased, was a pink .22. Every time we would take it to the shooting range, it would jam.
From the very beginning, I should have been puzzled as to why would Katie take a gun that malfunctions all the time out to kill Robin when she had a wonderful 9mm that works perfectly well, and it's a larger caliber, much more effective if you want to kill somebody. If it's Katie that killed Robin, it doesn't make much sense. But if it's JD, it makes all the sense in the world. He knows that everybody knows the .22 is Katie's gun.
Finally, another piece of evidence falls into place.
We learned during the investigation that Robin carried in her wallet her own Social Security card and the Social Security card of her 2 children. Eventually, we knew those were the only Social Security cards ever issued for those 2 children. During the search of JD's truck, the deputy found inside his console 2 Social Security cards, the Social Security cards of JD and Robin's 2 children. If Robin always carried those Social Security cards in her wallet, how did they end up in JD's truck?
How indeed, unless JD is with Robin the night of her murder. For the murder of his ex-wife, Robin Spielbauer, Jeremy Spielbauer is sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility in 2046.
We want to get the bad guys and protect the good guys. It is our worst nightmare that we lock up the wrong person. But Katie spent 467 days locked in a cell because I ignored evidence that was available. I just didn't look at it close enough. I didn't look at it with an open mind.
But in the end, the evidence saves Katie. She goes on to earn a degree in legal studies.
When I was released from jail, I immediately started school. I am the first person in my family to graduate college. I got a bachelor's degree in legal studies, and I work as a defense paralegal for a wonderful attorney here in town.
Now divorced from J.D. Spielbauer, she vows to work to help those who are wrongly accused.
I am also the director of strategy for a nonprofit called Ignite You First. Our goal is to break generational cycles of trauma and to build hope in people who have been through anything that could be considered a traumatic event.
Katie's a good person at heart. I'll never pass up the opportunity to tell the world that I made a mistake and she's innocent. She had nothing to do with the death of Robin Spielbauer.
Gunned down in cold blood, targeted for murder. Next.
Even the quietest towns have their secrets to hide. A neighborhood full of family doesn't mean it's always safe.
There's blood on the ground. There's first thing I think they noticed when they were walking up were the guns lined up along the sidewalk.
Thompson Police. The police found when they arrived what looked like a burglary situation.
No lie stays hidden forever, and the evidence always finds the truth. Just south of Waco, Texas, is the small suburban area of Robinson.
Robinson is a suburb of Waco, and just your quintessential bedroom community, as people call them. Very close-knit.
The two cities are right together. It's basically a residential area with some shops and a little bit of business.
You have the small town feel, but close enough to a bigger town with bigger amenities in it.
A lot of good folks live there, small school, very tight-knit community.
But even the smallest towns can have their dark side.
Emergency. Hello? Okay. What's the problem? I got it this morning. I was in the hospital doing chicken sleep. I go over there with my husband. They're all gone. And there's blood on the bed and he's dribbling all the stuff on the mouth. Okay, so he's here. I don't want to be. I don't want to say I'm going to turn out and do that officer stay on. I do have officers in the house. You don't see anybody. I mean, like there's nobody around or anything. This back door was wide open. I went back there. I don't know. And then I shut the door. And then I heard my door was there. I can't put it to respond to me.
In the morning hours of around 6 o'clock, a woman named Gentry called into 911 and said that her husband had a gunshot wound in the head and blood all over.
The police are quick to arrive on the scene, showing up even before Darlene gets off the phone with the 911 operator.
Thompson Police.
I'm sorry, what?
The police found when they arrived what looked like a burglary situation. Mr. Gentry was in bed, and he had received a gunshot wound to the head.
With nothing else left to do, Darlene Gentry is left to wait and hope that her husband Keith will survive.
Darlene and Keith Gentry were a young married couple with children living in city limits of Robinson, Texas.
She was a homecoming queen at Cameron, a city near Waco. Keith and she met at Texas State Technical Institute, a school, and they dated off and on while they were in school, and then both of them got out and left. She went up to Dallas, but then moved back, and they continued dating and finally got married. They, in pretty short order, had 3 children.
Keith was a hard-working guy. Worked for a drafting company. He lived near his folks. Very close-knit family.
Keith's father, Wayman, said that Keith didn't appear to be very happy, and that he was going to stick it out with her, but it seemed like that they were having difficulty.
Darlene originally studies to be a dental assistant and moves to Dallas to work for a dentist. But after an incident where her car is stolen, she decides to move back home and goes back to school to get a nursing degree.
You know, the fact that she was a homecoming queen, she was an exceptionally attractive young woman.
Keith proposes to Darlene in 1999, and their wedding is soon after. As their lives together in marriage truly begin, they move into a house next door to Keith's parents. In the early morning of November 9th, 2005, Darlene is the first in her house to stir. She wakes up in one of her children's rooms after spending the night trying to help them sleep by watching movies together.
The children were sick, that she had been staying with them during the night, and that she got up early in the morning and started going around the house, and the back door was open, and that Keith's guns were missing.
Darlene races from the open gun cabinet to find Keith, all the while calling out his name.
And so then she went into the bedroom and found her husband, Keith, lying there with blood and a bullet wound in his head.
When Darlene finds her husband mortally wounded in their bed, she calls 911 for help. Police arrive at the scene within minutes. Immediately upon reaching the house, things start to look off.
Go check the inside. Go check the guy. Watch yourself going in. We got a lot of guns here in the front yard. Robinson Police.
I'm sorry, what?
Stand right here and just keep scanning. Don't let anybody near them guns.
The first thing I think they noticed when they were walking up were the guns lined up along the sidewalk.
Keith Gentry had several hunting-type weapons, long guns, shotguns, rifles, and they were kind of out in the grass in the front yard, and they were kind of lined up in rows. And there wasn't but about maybe 5 or 6 of these.
Keith is in critical condition and is treated as the first priority before any investigation into the scene can begin.
This is not a high-crime area by any stretch of the imagination. And to make that point even more profound, is that where they lived in particular is surrounded by family, almost like a family compound. And none of what we were being told about the crime scene made sense.
Keith is taken to the hospital. Every second could mean the difference between life and death.
The gun case was open, but it was unlocked with a key.
When doing an inventory of the guns, found out that one was in fact missing. That didn't match anything that they had ever seen about a robbery.
It just did not sound to the Robinson Police Department like she was as concerned.
They called and said that Keith was not doing well and maybe she needed to get to the hospital.
They are trying to shut down this legal loophole to get 100 milligram generic Viagra or 20 milligram generic Cialis delivered to your door for just 87 cents in less than 2 minutes. Do this. First, scan the QR code to go to getfridayplans.com. Then, you select if you need generic Viagra or Cialis, the quantity you need, and the dosage. I'll pick 100 milligram, thank you very much, and then their system will see if you qualify. Give it a second to find the best deals, and boom. Look at that. 87 cents for each 100 milligram generic Viagra tablet. 20 milligram Cialis is the same price. The prescription and shipping are free. Scan the QR code to go to getfridayplans.com and see for yourself. Don't wait. Scan the QR code or go to getfridayplans.com now.
Hey, you folks. Matt McCoy here to talk about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford and why people love it so much. This is a good movie. Looks like it got a 94% thumbs up. Now, that's pretty high. Even that's less than the 96% of customers 50 and over who recommend the Hartford. In fact, 4 out of 5 AARP members who switched to the Hartford from companies like Allstate, State Farm, and Geico got a lower rate. And many of them saved hundreds on their auto insurance. Not an AARP member? Hey, not to worry. The Hartford can help you join in minutes.
To start saving on your insurance today, get your free quote by calling the Hartford at 1-800-684-6093 or visit trusthartford.com.
I hear this place is great. 90% of diners recommend it. That doesn't beat the 96% of customers who recommend the Hartford. You just can't beat benefits like disappearing deductible. Plus, they offer new car replacement.
New car replacement?
Yep. If your new car is totaled, the Hartford will pay the full replacement cost.
The camera on this phone is amazing.
It's only a 93% satisfaction rating, though. Still less than the Hartford. You know what else? You can save even more if you bundle home and auto. For the savings, benefits, and best-in-class claims experience you deserve, make the switch today.
Join the millions of drivers 50 and over who switch to the AARP Auto Insurance Program from the Hartford and get the savings you want and the award-winning claims experience you deserve. To get your free, no-obligation quote and see how much you could save, call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6093 or visit trusthartford.com. The Bucks got your back.
Why has America accepted the wait for payday? When life doesn't wait for you to get paid. Introducing MyPay from Chime, a revolutionary new way of getting your pay when you want. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. When any day is payday, it's a good day. Get paid when you say with MyPay. Get started at Chime.com.
At DriveTime.com, we've been hard at work, and we finally did.
Did you make it so I can finally shop at thousands of cars with no hit to my credit?
Wait, yes! Go to DriveTime.com, get approved with no credit hit.
Go to DriveTime.com, get approved, and shop your real terms with no credit hit.
Spot Pet Insurance Plans help pet parents focus on the moments that matter and worry less about unexpected vet bills. From puppyhood and beyond, Spot can cover up to 90% of eligible vet visits. Visit SpotPet.com to get a free quote.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
This Labor Day is the best time to try Plexiderm at our starter price of only $14.95. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
In the small suburb of Robinson, Texas, residents feel safe and secure in their tight-knit community. On an early November morning, the Gentry family learns that tragedy can strike anywhere, even when surrounded by family. Darlene Gentry wakes up to find her back door open and gun cabinet empty. She fears a burglar has gotten into her house in the night. Darlene finds her husband Keith in their bed, barely holding on to his life, with a bullet wound in his head. She calls 911, but can Keith survive?
Keith Gentry was transported to the hospital. The police then talked to Darlene and asked her to come down to the headquarters with them.
Darlene is brought to the police station to give her statement about the events of the morning.
Just as a matter of routine, Darlene was taken to the Robinson Police Department where she was being interviewed by police detectives.
Saw the blood on the sheets. Was there any weapons on the bed?
I honestly saw nothing other than just the foam coming out of his mouth, and I tried to shake him. When I tried to shake him, that's when I noticed something by his head, and I kind of leaned in more to look, and that's when I went to holler at the kids, get out, get out, get out. I just saw the red, and I automatically assumed it was blood just because, I mean, and so that's when I started calling, and it was just like I don't know.
While Keith is taken to the hospital and Darlene is interviewed, the police investigate the scene of the crime, on the lookout for any evidence of the burglary.
When the Robinson Police detectives arrived, they called in the Texas Rangers.
Her story, of course, was it was a robbery. There was no evidence of a break-in. She said the guns had been stolen. There was no evidence that the gun case had been broken into, and nothing else was taken. And then to find the firearms stacked rather neatly on the lawn in front of the house that didn't match anything that they had ever seen about a robbery.
Did you at any time touch him?
Well, I mean, I know I physically did. I mean, like I shook his leg when I was trying to get his attention, but phone's in my pocket. I just turned it on.
The reason I asked is, we got some rangers at the house, Texas Rangers. They're assisting with the crime scene stuff. They found what they think might be blood in Lars' bathroom sink.
I don't know. As I said, I haven't, other than touching his leg, that is the only part I believe I touched of him.
So you don't remember going after touching maybe any bloody area?
No, I was literally, my cell phone was on my dresser, which is on his side of the bed. When I couldn't get him to respond to me, I turned directly from there, picked up the phone, and turned it on, and then of course had to wait for the service to hit and hit 911.
The gun case was open, but it was unlocked with a key.
As authorities make their way through the house, questions about Darlene's story begin to percolate in their minds. And it isn't only the evidence found around the house that has them wondering.
The officers and their experience, even people with no medical training, try to at least do something to help a wounded spouse or a person. She had done nothing. She gave a story that she was probably in shock or something like that, but the fact that she did nothing was very suspicious to them.
Is Darlene too in shock to help her husband? Or could her inaction be a sign that something else is going on?
Keep in mind, a 911 operator is going to want her to do CPR because that's just how they're trained to do. And keeping also in mind that Darlene was a registered nurse at the time. But in order to properly do CPR, you have to pull someone off the bed because you cannot adequately do CPR in bed. You need to have a hard surface. But she never did that. She spoke to the dispatcher, the 911 operator, about how he was making a gurgling sound, and it just did not sound to the Robinson Police Department like she was as concerned or as frantic as what a normal spouse might have been when they found their husband dead in bed.
The search continues through the house, but as hard as they try, police can't find definitive evidence of any break-in having occurred.
I don't recall how long we'd been there, but we'd been there quite a while because we were having to go from room to room. We have to search and look, and we were looking for fingerprints. We were looking for all evidence that might have bolstered what the wife had told us about the burglary, but we just could not find it.
That was my partner again. The detective I've got at the hospital said that they need a wife there to make some medical decisions on behalf of your husband. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if you'll just bear with me just a few minutes, and we'll get you to the hospital. Until I can sort through what's going on. All right? You listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Everyone's a suspect right now until I can determine how your husband suffered this gunshot wound. That's not to take away that he could have done it himself. You understand this? If there was a gun on that bed, you moved it to save his integrity or anything like that, I need to know now.
I did not move a gun.
Did you harm your husband?
No, I did not harm my husband.
You and I have been working with a pretty good relationship here. I'm trying to figure out what
I know.
That's all I'm trying to do right now.
Darlene was in the middle of her initial police interview down at the police station, and they called and said that Keith was not doing well and maybe she needed to get to the hospital.
Darlene's interview isn't over, but the police put it on hold after news of Keith's condition reaches the station.
They received a message from the hospital that her husband Keith was brain dead. and then took her to the hospital, and she signed the paperwork so that he would not be kept on life support.
Darlene is given time to sign the paperwork and say her goodbyes. But after things conclude at the hospital, she is brought back to the police department to continue her interview.
I'm just not doing this alone because I'm just.
Are you saying that you want to get an attorney?
Yes. My sisters are having a fit. They don't want me signing anything.
They continued to talk with her later in the day, and she began to feel that she was being interrogated, and eventually invoked her right to cease the interrogation and leave.
I'm just afraid that I'm going to get, I'm trying to tell y'all exactly what I remember, and as I said, it's been a long day, and I don't want me trying to tell y'all something to turn around and it come out not exactly what I meant and basically bite me in the butt. Basically, is what I don't want to happen.
We wouldn't let that happen to you, because if there's something we don't understand that you said, we're going to ask you.
And I've tried to be straightforward and honest with everything that I'm telling y'all, and what I don't know, I'm telling you, I don't know.
Iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford is more radiant than ever.
And with her gorgeous, age-defying skin, Us Weekly says whatever she's doing, it's clearly working.
What's Cindy's secret to keeping her skin looking so youthful year after year?
It's Meaningful Beauty. And now, there's really big news. Our best system ever features new age-defying formulas.
Meaningful Beauty is created by world-renowned cosmetic specialist Dr. Jean-Louis Sabah.
He's been hailed as an anti-aging guru and a skin magician who's been honored with Elle Magazine's Genius Award.
His incredible treatments harness the power of a genetically unique melon found only in the south of France. It contains an astonishing youth-preserving enzyme known as the youth molecule.
You can see that the ordinary melon wrinkles, ages, and decays,
while Dr. Sabah's remarkable melon with the youth molecule stays fresh and firm.
Now he's discovered a breakthrough to deliver his age-defying ingredients even deeper into the skin, where wrinkles begin.
Pinch test.
Get ready to celebrate how beautiful your skin can be.
This is our 20th anniversary of Meaningful Beauty.
Join Cindy and women who've fallen in love with these new and advanced formulas.
I can sum it up in one word: hydration.
Glowy, smooth, magical.
It's made an amazing difference in my skin.
I'm not ashamed to say I am 53 years old. Thank you, Cindy.
Who's been using it the longest?
17 years.
17? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've often heard this. Are you drinking from the fountain of youth? And I say no, but I'm putting it on.
What I'm most proud of is over 5 million women have trusted Meaningful Beauty, and they're getting great results. And I get that feedback from them in airports, supermarkets, walking down the street, and I love it.
Now it's your turn to try our best system ever with 5 concentrated super treatments.
My skin just glows. When I look in the mirror, I'm happy to see my face.
Start with Cindy's Skin Softening Gentle Cleanser. You'll love how it refreshes and hydrates as it cleans away impurities and makeup without sulfates.
Next, get that luminous glow with our anti-aging day cream. With broad-spectrum SPF 30, this vanishing formula is designed to nourish while it protects your skin from the sun.
Now it's Cindy's Lifting Eye Cream that reduces the look of puffiness, dark circles, and crow's feet.
You'll also get the all-new Age Recovery Night Cream with our exclusive Retinol, which delivers even more of our age-defying ingredients to transform your skin overnight.
Even though the ingredients in this are super effective and you will get great results and you will wake up with beautiful-looking skin, it is gentle enough to use even on the most delicate of skin.
And the new and improved youth-activating melon serum includes the ultra-fine bubbles of Hydrosome H2O. It delivers our melon leaf stem cell technology deeper into the skin where wrinkles begin. Your skin will look smoother, firmer, and brighter.
Meaningful Beauty has all the ingredients you need to restore and to protect your skin.
Dr. Sabah's clients pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for his treatments. That's why when purchased separately, Meaningful Beauty's regular price of $179 is already an incredible bargain.
But Cindy decided to offer meaningful beauty directly to you through TV, so she could make her secret affordable for everyone. So you won't pay $179 or $139 or even $99.
Today, you'll pay just $69.95 for all 5 concentrated super treatments.
Be among the first 500 to order now, and we'll also add Cindy's new Super Brightening Duo, a $120 value free.
You'll get 60 of our Revive and Brighten eye masks, the celebrity secret that visibly smooths, awakens, and restores the area around your eyes.
And the exciting new Vitamin C Bi-Phase Brightening Oil. You'll be amazed as it brightens an even skin tone and visibly increases firmness and elasticity.
Imagine you'll get all these age-defying super treatments, a $300 total value. Yours now for just $69.95. That's an incredible deal.
But what if we could go even lower?
Just use today's promo code SAVE20 and we'll knock another $20 off our already low price. That means you'll pay just $49.95 for everything you see here.
We'll even add free shipping. And your order always comes with our 60-day money-back guarantee.
Meaningful beauty is about helping women feel confident in their skin and letting their true beauty shine through.
This special offer is not available in any store, so don't wait. Scan the code, call the number below, or go to meaningfulbeauty.com right now.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
Darlene Gentry wakes up early on a November morning. She finds the door open and the gun cabinet unlocked. She races to her husband, Keith, but finds him shot in their bed. Keith is rushed to the hospital, but it isn't enough. When Darlene is told that he has been left brain dead, she signs off on removing him from life support. The Texas Rangers are brought in to investigate the burglary, but details aren't matching up. And when Darlene starts to feel interrogated, she asks for a lawyer and leaves the police station. Before Darlene gets back from the police station, the investigation in and around her home continues.
We did believe that one handgun was missing, and we searched for the handgun. We could not find it.
Later, when doing an inventory of the guns, found out that one of these guns was in fact missing. It was a 22 caliber 9-shot revolver. That was the only firearm in the house that could not be accounted for.
Police are able to talk to Keith's father to get more insight into the guns found in the front yard, confirming the missing gun's existence.
The father had given the gun to Keith, knew that he had it, and so they were able to make the determination that that gun was missing.
Meanwhile, one officer makes a very lucky discovery inside the house.
We assisted the Robinson Police Department with the examination of the crime scene, and through this investigation, one of the key pieces of evidence found by Robinson Police Detective Mike Noel was, as he was going through the kitchen trash can, he found a latex surgical glove.
The police requested that she would give them permission to search her house, which she did. And they found a latex glove similar to what a nurse would wear. And inside the glove was a 22 caliber shell that would have fit the revolver.
Now keep in mind, this glove was turned inside out as if it was being worn at the time when the shell casing was picked up. Turned inside out and then placed at the bottom of the trash can. And then what looked like a bunch of leftover food was piled on top of it, as if to hide the surgical glove and the shell casing.
The glove was taken to the crime lab along with the shell. They did DNA on it, and the DNA on the glove matched the DNA of Darlene Gentry. The glove was subsequently tested for gunshot residue, and it was found on it. Interestingly, the defense attorneys asked for that test to be run on it.
As for the bullet shell, firearms experts are able to confirm that the shell would come from the missing .22 caliber revolver. Although without the gun in question, there can be no way of connecting the two beyond it being just a possibility.
There was an autopsy done. The bullet was recovered from his head. The bullet was so badly damaged that they were not able to match it to the gun as far as being fired from the gun, but it was a .22 bullet and consistent with what could have been fired from that gun.
Between the lack of evidence of a burglary having taken place and the shell found in the latex glove, suspicion grows in Darlene's direction. But for some police officers, these suspicions begin much sooner.
Something stinks about this, Gary. I think she did it. Something ain't right here, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, what's the problem? I got it this morning. I was in my son's room because I didn't sleep. That door was open. My husband's guns are all gone.
The interesting thing about the call was that was the order that everything was described to the 911 operator. Normally, if a person comes in and finds their spouse, mortally wounded, that's the first thing they're going to tell the operator. My husband is badly hurt. We need an ambulance out here. And instead, she went through this long scenario about walking around the house and the guns being missing. And the last thing that she got to was about her husband. And that made everybody very suspicious. It sounded like she was setting up an alibi in her call.
Oh, by the way, my husband's been shot. So it's almost like we call it in the newspaper business, she kind of buried the lead. But it appeared to the investigators early on that she was trying to set up her alibi, or she went way in too much detail before she actually said, "Oh, my husband's been shot."
If Darlene could be responsible, there is still the question of why hanging in the air.
Keith and Darlene did have some financial problems. There were apparently other problems in the marriage as well. Keith had a fairly large insurance policy. I believe he may have actually had two of them, and it was in the area, I believe, of several $100,000.
You mentioned y'all were trying to save some money. Y'all have been having some financial problems.
Well, we're just this third kid, and it's killing us basically. So we've just been trying to butt heads, figure out which way. Because of course we are getting behind on some bills, and it's just been one thing after another.
Police are able to uncover that Keith is under two life insurance policies. Together, they are worth approximately $750,000.
Darlene Gentry's behavior continued to be confusing. She started looking for land to purchase, and she was looking in an area of the county that was about as far away as you could get and still be inside the county. And it wasn't her home. It wasn't where she was used to living. It was a very rural area, and it would have been a long drive for her to go to work every day. But she was dealing with one man who was selling a 5-acre tract of land.
Shortly after her husband's death, there was a gentleman named Pavelka who she had been friendly with and told him that she would like to move and was looking for a house. He had a house that next to it was a little pond, and she expressed a great deal of interest in the house and the pond, said that her husband had always liked to take the boys out to water sports, and that she thought it would really be nice to have this house with the pond.
Darlene realized it had a pond on it, and she goes, "Well, that's perfect, because Keith had always wanted a place with a pond so he could take his three sons fishing."
So They negotiated prices, and she would come out and look at the land from time to time. She asked his permission, would it be okay if she spent a little time out there? He says it's not a problem. Drive out and look at it anytime you like.
With the murder weapon still missing, there is no direct evidence to link anyone to the shooting of Keith Gentry. But as the circumstantial case continues to build, authorities believe Darlene is to blame. Nearly a month after Keith is shot, the police move to make an arrest.
I believe the crime occurred on November the 7th, and she was actually arrested November the 28th. Keith's father said they simply couldn't believe that she had done that.
Darlene Gentry told the man she wanted to buy the land, but she didn't want the pond anymore.
That kind of set in motion this scheme that the ranger had that she would go back out there.
The rangers then had set up a camera on the pond so a video could be recorded of what was happening there.
Drive Time has a big announcement. An even easier way to buy a car. You make the deal yourself.
I made the deal myself.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker.
Keep the brakes down.
I can't get too excited.
It lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment of the car you want to buy.
I make the deal myself?
It's your car. You should make the deal you want.
You can customize terms on literally thousands of cars in no time. The deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay.
You make the deal yourself.
Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
I'm a dog. Since my owners got me a spot pet insurance plan, they're getting cash back on covered vet bills. Good boys like us rack up some bad vet bills. But spot plans help my owners focus on our care, not the cost. Choose Spot. Customizable pet plans you both will love.
Why do we accept waiting 2 weeks for payday? Thanks to Chime, I don't have to wait to get paid anymore. I couldn't believe it. I can get up to $500 of my pay on my schedule. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. Join me at chime.com and get paid when you say.
Are you or a loved one between the ages of 50 to 80 years old? If you are younger than 80 years old, do you receive Social Security, Disability, or Medicare? If you answered yes, you may qualify for $30,000 in funeral insurance for only pennies a day. The average funeral costs around $11,000, and Social Security only pays $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. Call now to see if you qualify for $30,000 in funeral expense coverage from Senior Legacy Life. Your rate will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and there is no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing disease or illness. Don't be a financial burden to your family. Lock in your rate by completing an application over the phone right now. Will you qualify for funeral insurance up to $30,000 for only pennies a day? Find out by calling Senior Legacy Life.
Call 1-800-300-3341 to speak with a licensed insurance agent. That's 1-800-300-3341.
If you live in rural America and want better high-speed internet at home, say hello to the new HughesNet.
Hi!
Now you can do it all. Connect, stream, and play, wherever you live.
Now you can shop till you drop, because your internet won't.
Now I can video conference with confidence.
Yes! The new HughesNet is Jupiter-powered, with unlimited data and faster speeds than ever before.
Now I can stream up anything I can dream up.
That's right.
And HughesNet Fusion plans combine satellite and wireless technologies for a faster, more responsive internet experience.
How? There's no shame in my game.
Oh, game on.
This is satellite internet reinvented.
Nice.
Call now and get free professional installation and save $25 a month for 12 months.
This changes everything.
Yes, it does.
Now it's your chance to get the new HughesNet. Call 1-800-617-7624.
Real cases.
She's been murdered.
Chilling details.
The whole floor started to glow.
And the science that cracks them wide open.
Let's cement our case.
Uncover the truth with Forensic Files. Weeknights starting at 9. Only on True Crime Network.
When Keith Gentry is shot in the middle of the night, the police begin to suspect Darlene, his wife, may be responsible.
Something's about this, Gary. I think she did it.
While their suspicions begin early on, the lack of a clear motive and the missing murder weapon keep them from closing the case. Meanwhile, Darlene looks for a new place to make a home, telling friends her current house is too full of awful memories after the shooting. While searching the Gentry residence, police find a spent shell casing for a .22 hiding inside a latex glove with Darlene's DNA. An arrest warrant is finally permitted, and Darlene is brought into custody nearly a month after Keith's death. But Darlene's arrest is short-lived.
Well, after she was arrested, Wayman Gentry, Keith's father, said that they simply couldn't believe that she had done that, and they were supportive of her and even helped her raise bail money.
Keith's parents raised the $50,000 necessary to get Darlene out on bail. When released from jail, Darlene pushes forward on buying the land she'd been shown before her arrest. Only now she has an unusual request.
At some point during their negotiation, Darlene Gentry told the man she wanted to buy the land, but she didn't want the pond anymore. And the man thought that was strange because in Texas, anyone who buys a piece of property, they want water on it. Water is a commodity in Texas. So he was very confused about this, but he knew that she had also been arrested. So he contacted law enforcement and said, this woman who was arrested for killing her husband wants to buy my property. She wanted this pond, talked about how it was something she always wanted, but now she wants me to fill it in with dirt. He said, do you reckon she threw something into that pond? Well, we interviewed the man who owned the land, and we agreed that her behavior was suspicious at best. And we asked the man if it would be all right if we came out and looked in the pond. So myself and Ranger Foster, we contacted the state dive team. We made arrangements for them to come out and search the bottom of this body of water. It wasn't large, but it was big enough that it needed to be searched correctly. The dive team never even had to suit up. They waded out into the water. They saw what looked like maybe a stick in the water. They walked over to that stick about knee deep. They reached down and they pulled out a .22 caliber pistol.
In fairly short order, he was able to find a 9-shot .22 caliber revolver there in the water.
Within only 10 to 15 minutes, the dive team are able to locate the assumed murder weapon within the pond.
To begin with, the pistol itself was pristine. It was not covered in dirt or moss. It had not been there very long, and that was plainly obvious to all involved. We showed the weapon to Mr. Gentry, Keith Gentry's father, and he was able to positively identify it as a weapon that he had given his son at some point in time. So we now know that this is most likely the weapon that was missing from the house and probably the murder weapon.
With the bullet removed from Keith being too damaged to have an absolute confirmation that it must have been fired from a particular gun, authorities are left with only circumstantial evidence to link the gun to the shooting. It's the only gun missing from the Gentry residence after the shooting, matches the caliber of the bullet, and appears to have only been recently disposed of. Having found the missing firearm in a place where the evidence points most clearly to Darlene, the idea of what must have happened on the night of the shooting crystallizes in the minds of police. With no evidence of a break-in actually having occurred, Darlene is the only one who appears to have had the means to have gotten to the guns. Darlene may have put most of the guns on the lawn to create confusion, and interest in the pond could potentially be due to a plan to dispose of the murder weapon. Even as police and Texas Rangers come up with what they believe must have happened, they still have nothing concrete to say Darlene has to have been involved.
And I came up with the idea to tell the landowner, to tell Miss Gentry that he would be willing to fill in that pond with dirt, but that he would be afraid that he would get his tractor stuck. So he was going to use a pump and drain the water out first.
That kind of set in in motion this scheme that the ranger had, just to play a hunch that she would go back out there and try to find a gun.
The rangers then had set up a camera on the pond so a video could be recorded of what was happening there.
606. We told her on one day, as I recall, and by the next day, about noon, she had driven out there by herself. We watched her put on rubber boots and reach into the back of her vehicle and get a probe of some sort. Then we turned the cameras on and watched her walk down the path to the pond, walk over to where the stick had been placed earlier, and start probing around in the water looking for something. And of course we knew what it was. She was looking for the weapon.
All of this was recorded, and her efforts to dig around in the pond with the stick were all videotaped and were absolutely on record.
With the video evidence of Darlene searching out the discarded pistol, the police have what they need to put this case to rest.
True quality, authenticity. It does not fear the passing of time. It's worth the search. Peter Malone.
Does a physical or mental health condition keep you from working? Do you need help applying for disability benefits? Or have you already been denied disability? Call Disability Help today. Get the Social Security disability benefits you deserve. Get connected with disability representatives nationwide without leaving your home. Social Security disability cases are time sensitive. Don't wait and call the number on your screen now.
You may be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan if you are turning 65, have limited income, or you are moving. See how a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan could get you some big benefits, including this all-in-one WellCare Spendables debit card to use for over-the-counter health items. Find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage plus extra benefits. You could have medical coverage, coverage for prescription drugs, dental, vision, and hearing, and the WellCare Spendables debit card to make getting the coverage you need more convenient. The WellCare Spendables debit card can be used for over-the-counter health items. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with a $0 or low monthly plan premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 or low monthly plan premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 844-97